We can get started. Good afternoon. Hello and welcome to a live stream. I am Professor Zach Whalen and I am the instructor for a class called DGST 101 Intro to Digital Studies at the University of Mary Washington, and this is a live stream for students in my class. Looks like I have one viewer right now, but that's good enough. Mainly, I actually, for today's live stream, it's really I don't have a lot to say, honestly. So this is mainly going to be an introduction and overview of week 5 for this class. Week 5 is different, so I want to talk about what's different about it and explain the different things that you are going to be doing this week. And that's kind of it. So, I don't have a slideshow. I don't have a lot of fancy things prepared. But I wanted to, explain things verbally. They're written out in the instructions for today, but I think explaining them verbally sometimes gives me a different way of explaining it. It might make more sense. So yeah, I thought good to see you, chosen clown. I thought that might be you watching. So thanks. All right. So looking at this is the homepage for our class, and you can see over here on the right, you all have a to-do list in Canvas, and I do too. You've given me a lot to do, and so this is going to be my major work this week, is catching up on this grading, looking at weeks 3 and 4 first, and then of course as you finish the stuff for week 5. But this is week 5, so it's all about reflecting and looking back and taking stock of what you've learned this term. We've gone a long way in 4 weeks, so part of this is giving you some terminology and some ways to think about all you've accomplished and what's valuable about that, because that is the final piece of this class. It's this mediated metacognitive meditation, which is an unnecessarily alliterative assignment that I came up with that gives you that invitation to go back and look at things and talk about them. So let's take a look just at the notes. So I've got this on the homepage for the class, notes and instructions. This is not going to be for week 5. This is not going to be day by day, right? It's not going to be day 1, day 2, day 3. Technically tomorrow, which is Tuesday, I'm actually going to change that there because it's really all of week, not just all of week 5, not just day 1. So it's technically tomorrow is our last day of class per se, and then our final is scheduled on Friday for classes that meet face-to-face or have a synchronous schedule. This is an asynchronous class, so we don't actually have to follow that at all, but typically, I still kind of honor the idea that this is a shortened week. Week 5 is mostly about the final project, and that's what I have here. Okay, so this is probably the best way to go through it. We're looking at week 5, and your goals for the week are to complete the mediated metacognitive meditation, which is difficult to say. I want you to engage with your class community one last time, and then just a couple of things to kind of wrap things up. Tighten up your WordPress. Maybe think about installing some other things too. I'll talk about that shortly. And then ultimately you're going to be proposing your final grade as you evaluate your work for the semester. That's separate from, but kind of parallel to, the mediated metacognitive meditation. But it's your week 5 report. Like, you've been doing these weekly reflections and reports. The week 5 one is kind of the big one, where you look at the whole term and propose the final grade that you think you have earned. Okay, so that's it. Let's take a look at the assignment, and that will give us some things to discuss possibly. I have mentioned this a few times. The assignment actually has been published for a little while. I wasn't withholding it. I just, I have to clean things up before I publish them. But it has been up here for a little while. And basically the idea is you've done several things this semester. I keep saying semester. Technically it's a term, not a semester, because a semester means half of a year, and this is a 5-week term. Weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, you did projects. You did module projects. You did things that were like big projects that I asked you to do, like the web literacy assignment and the object lesson. You've done a lot. And so what I would like for you to do is look back on what you've done. Look at one of the assignments or projects, maybe more than one, that you think deserved a little bit more time. I think for example, one suggestion is that a lot of the module projects, just because of the timing, they seemed kind of rushed or kind of perfunctory. And I think within the work that you started to do for those, this is obviously a general blanket statement, some of you I think have a lot more you could do with those projects, those GIFs, those interactive fiction things, whatever it is that you chose to do. I think that to me stands out as a general category that might be worth iterating. And so what I say by iterating is take it to the next level. So let's say you completed an interactive fiction game that was really simple. Maybe make a more complicated one, right? That would take it to the next level. That would iterate it. That would be the next step in your game design journey, would be to make something more complicated. Or let's say you made an animated GIF using using a website like Giphy or Imager, then maybe the next step would be to try to do it using GIMP or Photoshop, right? So try to do it a different way. So taking it to the next step, taking it to the next level, and that next level could be in terms of scope, in terms of quality, in terms of intensity, in terms of impact. Like so many things with this class, you really have to set your own goals. But I want to see in this final thing that you've taken something and you've moved it along in a way that makes sense to you, and that does produce something more valuable to you as a result. So it can be anything from this semester, at least one, but might as well do more than one if you have time. But at least one, and ideally, 2 or 3, right? So that you can actually show that you've made some progress on these things. Okay, so another thing you can do, as I say here, you can expand. You can also revise or rework. Let's say you did something, but it wasn't very good. You want to try again. So, by all means, right? That's always an option too. I have been, when I've been giving you the video feedback, I've been trying to make recommendations where I see some opportunities, when I see something that maybe wasn't done completely or that missed some opportunities. I in the videos that I've been recording, I've been saying that. Like I've been saying, this is something you might want to iterate for the final. So you could certainly look at those and do those things among other things. Okay, so after you've iterated, then you should next reflect on it. And this reflection it should be metacognitive. So metacognitive just means thinking about thinking. So I want you to be aware of the things that you did to be successful and the strategies that you employed to try to be successful. The things that helped you learn how to be successful. Was that comparing yourself to other people? Was that looking at your work and deciding how it made you feel? Was it just fun? I mean, a lot of you have mentioned fun from some of your modules. So was it just like, this was fun, so I want to do it again and have even more fun with it? Like that's a reasonable way to think too, and that's something to recognize in your reflection, that you do things if you find a way to make it fun, and that's a good way to progress. So that could be something that you talk about in your reflection. Okay, so this is the final bit then, and this is the final aspect of it. I want you to use your website, your domain, somehow to share that reflection. And so that's the mediated part of it. So you can post a video, you can record audio, you can do a web page, you can do a series of animated GIFs. I don't know. And somehow I want you to convey that reflection using the media skills that you've developed this semester and using the platform that you've been building this semester, which is your website. So that's the final thing there. Okay. So that's the mediated metacognitive meditation. So it's quite open-ended, as you can see, like many of my assignments, but I'm sure you'll find a way to be successful. Just the big thing that I've been starting to tell people really is, especially in the reflection, that the process is a lot more important than the final product. So it's not so much that you made something that's awesome, but what you learned along the way, and also how you learned how to learn. So ultimately, I want you to take a lot of things from this class, but one of the things I really like to see, actually, when I was looking over back through Discord over the weekend, is a lot of you were talking to each other, like you're helping each other problem solve on your domains, and that's great. So you have each other as a resource. You also were finding help different places like the DKC or different tutorials that you found online. That's great, because seeking those things out, incorporating them into your work to make your work better, that's what the learning is. Like, that's what I want you to take from this class. I can help you. Like, you can ask me questions and I will answer them, but I'm not always going to be around to answer your questions. So taking that skill to find the answers yourself is really what I hope you take away from this class. With the web stuff, but really with anything technical, you can do a lot more than you think you can. And I want you to leave this class with some confidence in that. And this reflection is a place for you to talk about it. Even and especially if you faced a lot of challenges. Like if you found yourself really challenged this semester, or you found yourself really frustrated by trying to iterate something and it's not working, or whatever it is, talking about that failure is a really powerful kind of metacognitive reflection. So talk about why you failed, why you think that failed, what you could have done differently, or what resources might have worked differently. And that's a really important kind of learning as well. So I want to recognize that and give you that opportunity for this final project to do that reflection if that's helpful for you. So please do that, and please get this done by Friday at midnight if you can. This is it. So there's really very little this week that's new. So I'm hoping that Friday by midnight is a reasonable deadline, and I really want it by then if possible, because I have to turn around and finalize your grades. So whereas usually I'm not that interested in and worried about deadlines, and I'm happy to grant extensions if you ask, or even if you don't ask. So I don't care. But for Friday, I really need it by Friday because I've got to turn these things around. I think I have to have them in by Monday. I have not seen the email from the registrar yet. That's the person who I have to turn these grades into, and she usually tells us when they're due, and it's probably Monday. So I need them by Friday, please. Okay, so that's the mediated metacognitive meditation. If you have questions, of course, you can ask in Discord or Twitch. I'm keeping an eye on both. But that's it. So one thing I would like for you to do also is connect with your colleagues a little bit. I've made a new Discord channel called Showcase, and this is a little bit like the Share channel, but Showcase is more of a brag, kind of like, look at this thing I did, isn't it cool? So share some things in there, and be proud of yourself, something that you think really turned out well, especially as you iterate it. Like if you take something and you think, hey, this is awesome, it's even better now, put it in the Showcase channel. And then what I would really like for you to do, and I'm not grading this, I'm not tracking this at all, but this is my request, and you can, I guess, tell me whether you do this or not in your reflection, I suppose. But find at least 3 other projects or posts by other students in this class. So you've been seeing them post, so you have their blogs throughout Discord. And I think it would be great. It would be really nice to leave someone a comment, either on their blog or in Discord. You can send them a DM if you want to. You can @ them and say, hey, this is really cool. Just something to recognize at least 3 of your peers, 3 other students, at least 3 other students in this class, to say that you noticed their work and you liked it, or you thought it was interesting, or whatever you want to say about it. But something along those lines, just to show that connection. I think a lot of times when you put stuff out online, like I'm asking you to do for this class, you just kind of feel like it goes out into the void and no one ever sees it. But oftentimes people do, they just don't always write back or do anything like that. So I want you all to write back to each other. I want you all to show each other that you have been an audience for each other. And that would be really helpful. Okay, so then the I got a few more things to talk about. So this is, one more, I guess, encouragement to make sure that your WordPress, however many WordPresses you ended up installing, make sure they're all tidied up. Make sure that they have, they're set to automatically update. Make sure that they're set to, I do recommend turning off comments on your front page at the very least. But you definitely should have Akismet, WordFence, and Jetpack running. WordFence may be a little bit of overkill, but it's free, so why not? But Akismet, Jetpack are also good ideas. These are things that will kind of harden your WordPress and make it durable, so that even if you don't visit it for a couple months after this, it'll still be okay when you get back to it. All right, so those are some things that are pretty strong recommendations. Now, as I note here, since your MMM project has to iterate something, you could view that hardening or that reorganizing of your domain as an iteration. Like you could think of that as your final project. And that's perfectly fine. Let me show you a couple examples maybe of what you might want to do with this. You know what, actually I have to have an example. I don't have an example of this unless I pull up somebody's website. If anyone's watching this and you don't mind me looking at your website, I could pull that up and show it to you, give you some advice. I'm trying to think of if there's another one, if I can reproduce an example really quick. I might be able to. Maybe I could just fake something, as I've been doing. I mean, this is kind of abstract, so it's kind of hard to explain rather than showing. So I'll try to explain it. What I'm interested in suggesting is that many of you have been blogging in a subdomain, and so that means that your homepage for the site, for your domain, is blank, or it's that default image with the bus on it and like that little paragraph of text. And my suggestion is that for many people, it's helpful to have something on your homepage, your main domain. I could make a new subdomain to show you, but I don't really want to. I mean, Yeah, I've just got tons of WordPresses. I'm looking for some blank domain that I might have access to that would have that. But if if anyone's watching this and you still have the bus on your domain, on the main page of your domain, let me know so I can try to fix that. Let's just pick up this one. Okay, so I just picked this one. Sorry, I hope that's okay, Kate. I just picked yours because I saw you just responded to my post in Discord. So this is, I mean, there's nothing here, so there's nothing that I'm revealing that's not on anyone else's website. Hopefully that's okay, Kate. So this is, many of you have this, right? When you first create your domain, this is what you get on your main domain, and many of you have been blogging in a subdomain or a subdirectory, and we talked about those different approaches. But you probably want to do something different here. One thing you can do is you can install another WordPress copy and just wipe this out and then make that your homepage WordPress. And it would be a separate WordPress from the subdomain WordPress. So there's kind of the drawback there that you have 2 logins to keep track of. They also have their own separate set of settings. So they would have to, each would have to have Akismet, each would have to have Jetpack, WordFence, comments. Everything is entirely separate. Those 2 WordPresses, they have no idea that the other one exists. So you would have to make sure that you maintain that separately. That's the main drawback. Another thing you can do is, like, you know some HTML now, right? So take a look. The web page that is the bus here, it's just HTML also. You can edit this. Like, you can go into the file manager, find this file. I don't remember what it's called. I think it might be called homepage.html. And when you get there, or maybe home.html, anyway, when you see it, you'll recognize it and you'll know what to do if you edit it. If you right click and edit in the file manager, you'll see this code here. I'm just viewing the source in the browser, so I can't edit this. But you can, when you view it in the file manager, you could say this is the page about me. You could change out the logo.png. That's the file that looks like this. This is domain of one's own. You can make that something else, like a picture of your cat, if you want. Or you could change something else out. Let's see. I'm trying to see how did they have that background image there? They've done this in kind of a different way. Oh, there it is. They did this through JavaScript. I don't remember why. I think they did this actually back because CSS3 with background resizing wasn't fully supported by every browser when this template was created. But you know, it's a bus.jpg now, so you could put something else in place of bus.jpg and have a different, custom background, right? That would be a much, in my view, easier way of customizing your homepage than installing a separate WordPress. The drawback though is like, you just got the HTML there. If you install another WordPress, you have a platform that you could use as a portfolio going forward. You could post content from future classes there, which you couldn't do if you just edited this page. So, pros and cons. I'm happy to discuss these things and consult, give you advice, by the way. So let me know if you'd like to chat about these things. I'm always happy to do that. Let me go ahead and show you how to do that, actually, because this week and really, for the rest of this afternoon and, all day tomorrow, I'm going to be grading, but I am available if you would like to reserve an appointment. So this will be, office hours by appointment, basically. So I'll show you how to make an appointment. And please do. I mean, I know a lot of you have been seeing the DKC, which is great, but I'm here too. I know about my class even more than they do. So it just takes a second to load because this site still uses WordPress because I haven't finished my new website yet because I haven't had time. Okay, here we are. So yeah, this is it. You just click book. You click book now, and then click whatever kind of conference you want to reserve, and I will. It should be. Yeah, this looks pretty good, but I'll add some more time like tomorrow morning. You can see here it goes from mainly it's focused on the afternoons, but I'll adjust that availability so that it goes through tomorrow morning and tomorrow and Wednesday morning at least, so you can reserve that time if you'd like. And I'd like to talk to you. I've only had video conversations with 2 or 3 of you, but I know the rest of you are out there. You're doing fine. But it's good to put a face with a name sometimes. Okay, so as always, when you run into trouble, if you have questions, Discord is the place to put things. If it's a quick question, someone else may know the answer, or I might see it and answer it, whatever. That's always fine. That's what it's there for. Okay, so then and this is the final thing. After you've done your mediated metacognitive meditation, right? So this is, let me just double check that I have it set up for submissions to make sure it's possible for you to submit it. And it is. So once you've completed that, then I would like for you to complete one final weekly reflection. So this is a slightly more robust one, just that it's you're reflecting on the whole term basically. And one recommendation I have is that as you think about what you learned and how you applied the ideas and the exercises and the activities, this class, like all classes really probably, has a list of learning outcomes. So these are the things that I hope you accomplish by the end of this class. So have you accomplished those things? If so, how? That would be one way to approach your final reflection. Answer these questions, like did you develop skills and designing blah, blah, blah? Did you explore processes of knowledge, blah, blah, blah? Did you do all these things, basically? And if not, you could say why not, or just emphasize different things. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. So you could even use these as bullet points in your reflection if you want to write it out. That's totally fine. Okay, so like I said, I don't have as much to say in this live stream as I have had in the past ones. This is not really a lecture. This is just me going over what's remaining for this week. I might have one final live stream tomorrow. I haven't totally ruled that out. If I do, it would just be some extra topic. It wouldn't be anything super critical probably, but there's a couple things I'm interested in exploring as possible modules for this class, and I think it might be interesting to kind of run some of that by you all and see what you think. So I might do that tomorrow. I'm also kind of thinking about possibilities for my Applied Digital Studies class, which if you're a Communication and Digital Studies major, you will be taking, and if you take it next year, you will take it with me, because I'm the only one teaching it next year. So I'm also kind of thinking about some ideas for that class, and I might run those by you all as well, because you will be an audience that might be interested in that. I'm trying to figure out what I think about cryptocurrency, just to give that away. I mean, I know what I think about it, but I'm trying to think about how do I work that into a lesson or give you something to do or work on related to cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency and NFTs is kind of the adjacent concept that I have opinions about, but these are opinions really, and I want to make sure that I have a more well-researched point of view if I present a point of view, or I want to have a set of tasks or activities for you to develop your own point of view based on your own explorations. So I don't know. Maybe cryptocurrency, maybe not. Okay, well, I can't think of anything else to talk about. I only have a couple of people. I'm back down to one person watching, so I'm going to wrap things up for this stream. So sorry it was kind of a short one, but honestly that was all I had to say. The assignments are written out there. It's all on Canvas. You can certainly read those instead of watching this if you'd like. But if you want to watch this or any other stream, by the way, these are all archived. And I didn't realize before that this wasn't totally organized that well on my YouTube channel. But if you go to my YouTube channel, it is a bit easier, I think, now to find the DGSD 101 Summer 2021 playlist. So if you go here, it should be under the second section on the homepage of my YouTube channel. So check that out. It was always over here under playlists, but playlist is kind of hard to, you have to navigate that a bit. So this is maybe a bit easier. When you click this, you can go here and you can see them all. All except this one that I'm recording right now. So once I'm done with this one, I'll put it on there, and it'll hopefully present a pretty complete picture of this term in case you wanted to watch it all over again sometime for some reason, in order. Okay, well, that's it. Yeah, thanks, Chosen Clown, for watching. I don't know who you actually are, but good. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all around. Again, I might stream tomorrow just for fun, but maybe not. Maybe I will be too busy grading. I don't know, but I'll be doing that. Speaking of the grading, keep an eye out for those. I'll be posting those in Canvas, and you should see a notification that I've left a comment. And when you see that I've left a comment, it should be a video. I use the videos to give you feedback and suggestions on different projects. So that's the thing to look for. Make sure you check those out. I try to make them informative and helpful. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, let me see if I can. Yeah, there it is. Oh, no, it's Lovetta. Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks for identifying yourself. Good to see you. All right, great. Well, I'm going to wrap things up. I will see you all later, and or maybe I won't. I don't know. But thanks for watching, and thanks for being in the class. Hope it's been interesting and that you've learned some things. And yeah, I guess I'll see you later. That's the right one.